Welcome to our podcast. This is Friends on Fire.
I'm Mike. I'm a lifelong devotee of financial independence. I even wrote a book about it.
And I'm Maggie, a newer convert, but just as passionate, especially on the intersection of minimalism and financial independence.
We're one and the same.
We are two like-minded friends who believe that talking about money with your friends and family opens the door to financial well-being.
The Friends on Fire podcast is about dispelling myths, building financial acumen, and sharing your financial independence journey with the people you care about.
This is Friends on Fire.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Maggie.
How's it going?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
Good. That seemed like a questionable doing pretty well, like you were trying to decide.
I was trying to decide if there was something specific that I wanted to call out, or I just wanted to give you a generic, it's going okay.
I often think that when somebody asks me how my day's going, I'm thinking like, do you really want to know how my day's going? Or do you want me to just say, great, how are you? And move on with this passing.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of when you and I were talking earlier today on a personal item, and I asked you how your trip was, and I was expecting you just to say, yeah, it was really great, and then we could get on with our conversation, and you launched into like a 10-minute description of everything good and bad about your trip.
Yes. And now I talked to you about my extreme motion sickness, which is just getting worse as I get older for some reason.
Yeah. So my pause when you asked me how it was going was I was debating on how much information I should share with you about my day.
I like it. Well, what's funny is as I was doing that and starting to actually like unload on you a bunch of information, I was thinking like, he probably doesn't want to be hearing this. And I'm not even sure I want to expend the energy to say all of this. I wish I could go back in time myself and just say, it was great. How's your day been?
I think we could both say that we regretted getting ourselves into that conversation.
Yeah, because at that point, all the things were not that big of a deal. But look, you know what? My motion sickness is getting so much worse lately. And as I get older, I would love any tips that people have for how to combat like extreme motion sickness on if I read something for 1 second in a car, if I look at my Uber driver's phone to see how long is on the journey, like how much longer till we're somewhere, that triggers an immediate like headache, nausea, like just a terrible feeling. And on planes, it doesn't matter if I look at anything or not. It's not good. If I'm in the back seat of any car, it's bad. Anyways, you guys don't want to hear this. Extreme motion sickness, not the purpose of today's episode.
I'm sorry to hear that, Maggie. And just for all of our listeners, this has nothing to do with our episode today, in case anybody's wondering. This is not like some sort of well-planned segue. But in my non-medical opinion, it sounds like this also might be some anxiety that drives it, not just motion sickness.
It's funny that you say in your non-medical opinion, because I was feeling so terrible on this last trip, which was like a 4-day trip to LA with one of our kids for their birthday. And I felt so terrible on the way home that the second we landed, I was Googling articles. I was like, I've got to like deal with this. And every article I read said that it is exacerbated by stress and anxiety. And this happens to be a high stress time in my life. And I just was like fascinated by that, because if you actually know what's happening, which I didn't fully appreciate till I was reading these articles, like what's causing the motion sickness, it just is interesting that it's, made worse by stress and anxiety. So look, your non-medical opinions, actually pretty spot on. Okay. Should we move on to the actual purpose of today's show?
Oh, we're recording a show?
We are.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought we were just checking in. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about something that this topic has been on my mind for a while to record a show on. This is how to avoid spending money, how to save money, however you want to say it, while shopping at Target. And we say Target because that's a store, at least in the US, that is very popular and kind of ubiquitous for the sort of place you go into planning on buying deodorant and toilet paper, and then you somehow walk out with new holiday decorations, food, things that just, $100 that you didn't expect to be spending, and you're not quite sure what happened. And so you could, if this happens to you at Walmart or Costco or Trader Joe's, I don't know, name the store. This could be a helpful discussion and episode for you. And you can, don't fixate on Target. We are going to talk about Target specifically, but you could fill in the blank and replace Target with some other store that often will have, a lot of the learnings I think are applicable. And some of the more specific things to Target, many of these other stores have some version of something like this that we'll talk about.
And Maggie, you might actually be surprised to know that I also have this problem when going to Target and other similar stores. Now, not to the same degree that I think most people have, but I do find myself buying something else other than what I intended to buy at the store. And it's usually food items, like something looks good and I'm hungry, or something like I remembered I needed and wasn't on my shopping list. But almost always, if I go into a Target or a Costco or a Walmart or whatever, I will leave with something in addition to what I actually intended to buy.
Yeah, which is shocking to hear you say, Mike, because I thought you were like Superman in this category. Like I picture you walking in with a list that is tattooed to your hand and being so, married to that list that you do not look at anything else in that store. So if even you can end up susceptible to all of the amazing and lovely products that are within a Target store or a Costco or anywhere else, then, this is a serious problem.
Yeah. What hope do other people have?
Yeah. Yeah. If you can't do this, what hope does any of us have here?
So here's what I tell myself, though. And here's what I will tell everybody else. We are all the victims here. So retailers spend billions of dollars a year in research and advertising and merchandising to make sure that you, A, come into their store, and then B, spend as much time looking around and buying as many things as possible. I mean, this is efficiently designed. There are consulting firms who specialize in this sort of stuff. Like, you are walking into a situation designed to separate you with your money. And so if you have a problem with this, it is not just some personal willpower, although that is a small piece of it. It is that you really are a victim in this situation. Yeah.
Remember that there are very well-paid MBA, et cetera, graduates working at Target in merchandising departments. They have tons of people over, like a teeny tiny category like glue. And those people are paid to figure out how to merchandise and sell you more of whatever the product is that they are over. If we haven't already said this, we also probably should have prefaced this with Target's a lovely store. I'm not knocking Target.
I like Target. I shop there all the time.
Yeah. Do you call it Target, by the way?
Instead of Target?
Yeah, I was going to say my dad, when I was a kid, always called it Target.
No, I call it
that's
Target.
Still a trend. Yeah, I call it Target too. But it could be a super dangerous place, right? It is full of temptations, from clothing that you didn't know I literally can't even walk through the clothing section because I'll just see like cute shirts and t-shirts and things where I'm like, oh, I need that, but I don't. It's full of fast fashion. It's full of decorative seasonal items, and you do not need to change out the glasses or cups or plates in your kitchen every month with the new design that Target is selling. And it's full of amazing food and treats and toys. And it literally has, everything that none of us knew we needed. I still have again, off topic, I still have plates from Crate and Barrel from when I was in college that are still the plates we use in our kitchen today.
That sounds fancy. When I was in college, I think I used paper plates.
I worked at Crate and Barrel. So it was my senior year of college. I was working there seasonally part-time when I was home for the holidays and on the summers. And that's the only reason. So I didn't pay full price for those plates. A lot of them were actually like shtickle, which was this like half damn, someone would return a set of plates with one plate missing and I could take them home for like $3. Oh. Anyways, I still have that stuff. So I'm just saying I have it from 20 years ago. So I do not buy the seasonal stuff at Target, but they do. Every time I walk by there's like a new end cap with some new print of like some sort of half plastic dishes that don't go in the microwave anyway. Anyways. Okay. So let's jump in. The number one tip is to just not go to Target as often, right? So it sounds obvious, but limit your trips, right? The less times you have to walk inside of a Target store, the less you're tempted. So there was a time in my life where I might have gone to Target once a week, every time I kind of was like out of something and needed it. I just don't have time for that lately. And I'm much more thoughtful and intentional. And, when I'm even slightly running low on toilet paper, deodorant, or floss or something random, I'll put it on the list very far in advance. And I build up until I'm like really out of a bunch of things. And then I go to Target. And so I think just the idea of thinking you don't need to go as often and really limiting, like if something is not an extreme emergency, don't go to Target for that one thing you just need to run in and grab, because nobody can go into Target and just grab one thing.
Not even me.
Yeah. So just remind yourself, not even Mike can do that. And again, if Mike can't do it, there's no hope for the rest of us.
So Maggie, that's a great point. Going less will limit your exposure to the merchandising and advertising that's going to convince you to buy things. And the next logical extension of this is a category of just not going into the store. To limit your exposure to those forces inside the store that are convincing you to buy things, you can do things like ordering online and picking up in store, which is super convenient. You can pick up at the curb or right at the front desk, which doesn't even require you to go past the checkout area, so you're not exposed to any of it. And you could do this with groceries. So really any reason you would want to go to Target, you don't need to go into the store. You can also leverage the website and Target's app for free shipping if you're a Red Card member, and you can have this stuff shipped directly to your house, which is also kind of a time saver anyway if you don't want to get in your car and go somewhere.
Target's app is really slick. It's one of the better apps out there for shopping. And it even, remembers stuff you bought in the past and makes suggestions. And that free shipping piece, Mike, is super helpful. So in that example where, if I'm only out of deodorant and that is all I need and it's a little bit more time sensitive, Target has free 2-day shipping for Red Card members. And we'll talk about other Red Card. That's their proprietary kind of debit card. And it's not the most environmentally conscious thing to have like just a thing of deodorant shipped to you, but it just saves you money, right? Because if I pop into Target to just get that one thing, I'm guaranteed to turn it into a bigger shopping trip. And so every now and then, it's not so bad to just leverage the shipping feature. And again, when that doesn't work for you, the order online, pickup in store is incredibly helpful. So if you do have to go into the store, a few tips on how to make that experience less tempting and just, again, remove some of the temptations. Avoid the dollar spot. It's funny. I was reading an article about how to save money at Target in prep for this, Mike, because I had all these thoughts myself and then was like, oh, I wonder what else is out there. And I didn't see anything else that wasn't already on our list. But I did see someone that actually suggested buying stuff at the dollar spot. And I was like, no. Do not walk by the dollar spot. It is just full. I'm not saying there's not every now and then something that's a solid value in the dollar spot. 99% of the stuff in the dollar spot is crap you don't need.
It's junk.
It's junk. It's not well-made stuff. You're getting what you pay for. If you need something to entertain your kids, and we can talk about that in a minute, it could be, cheaper than something on the toy aisle for sure. But I don't even look at the dollar spot. It's right by the front. There's a reason they put it right by the front, because they know that sucks you into, buying a bunch of junk you don't need. But I just walk right past it. And I've kind of gotten into the habit. I walk right past that. I walk right past a bunch of the kids stuff also.
If you're looking for stuff that costs $1, go to the dollar store. Because then the worst case scenario is that you load up a basket full of stuff and you're out $8.
Yeah, that's true. We should do an episode on the dollar store, by the way.
Okay, good. We'll start working on the notes.
Because I think I've mentioned before, I never went to the dollar store until I met you. And I think we were doing some budget review and I saw that you had a lot of expenses at the dollar store. And I was like, what do you buy from there? I've never even I haven't been in there in 10 years. And then I discovered it again.
It's amazing.
Spoiler, we will not spoil this for you, but it's awesome. And we'll tell you why soon. So another tip about if you do have to go inside, and this is going to sound controversial is the wrong word, but there might be some people who disagree with me on this or who think that this is an inconvenience or it's just not possible for them. Totally get it. But if you can swing this, do not bring your kids inside Target. First off, it's just difficult to shop with kids, no matter what age they are. They're either young and they're just hard to keep up with in stores, or they're a little bit older and they just constantly ask you for stuff in stores, which is kind of their job as kids. I literally think, I'm not suggesting you do hire a babysitter. I'm just making the point that it's probably cheaper for you to hire a babysitter for an hour than to take your kids into Target. Because if you aren't incredibly strong and you're not really good at saying no to your kids repeatedly, which I'm pretty good at, they just constantly ask for stuff. Like you have enough temptations as an adult yourself walking through the store. I've got 3 kids, bringing 3 kids with me to Target. Like that's 3 more people that are being tempted that are then stressing me out and asking me for stuff. And, I can't walk 10 feet without them asking me for something, even if it's something that they might kind of, need, like socks or, something. It's just more distractions. And, I personally find that super stressful when I'm shopping. And so when I can swing going to Target by myself, it is a much more enjoyable experience. And it's a lot easier for me to control my own temptations and not theirs.
And a couple more tips for when you do have to go into the store. Go in with a list. And this applies to anything that you're buying. If you give something thought and you write it down and then hold yourself accountable to it, you will spend less money. And then one other thing that may be counterintuitive, but really does work, and I certainly subscribe to this, is don't pick up a shopping cart. So as soon as you start pushing that shopping cart around, it just makes it a little bit easier to carry more stuff than you actually need. So grab a handbasket, or if you're really feeling like a challenge, go with your bare hands. And anything you can't hold in your arms, you can't buy.
I've been that person walking through the store, by the way, just like full of things in my arms where I'm like about to, and people are like offering, like, do you need a car? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Now, this is part of the process.
As a dude, for some reason, I am genetically predisposed to wanting to hold as much stuff in my arms at a time as possible. So whether it's shopping bags, we're bringing them all out of the car at once, or in Target, loading up my arms with as much stuff as I can carry. So I still find myself picking up a few more things than I actually need, but it does mean that I don't pick up the maximum amount that cart will hold.
Yeah. Okay. So we were kind of focusing that on just trying to avoid going into the store at all. And again, leveraging things like ordering online and Target's free shipping. But then again, all those tips for if you do actually have to go into the store. We wanted to also just hit some general savings tips that are focused on Target specifically. But again, a lot of other stores like Target, like a Walmart or a Costco or other things, have some similar things in place that is just a good reminder to leverage. So the first one for Target is their Red Card, which is their proprietary store card. I'm not a big fan of store credit cards unless it's a store that you really frequent a lot and there's a good benefit to it. And Target, in my opinion, falls into that category. I think Target has an actual credit card, but their debit Red Card, which is very popular with a lot of people, it's not a credit card. It is just a debit card. It's tied to your checking account. The second you swipe it, the money gets pulled out of your checking account and you get 5% off all purchases, which is a really solid discount, right? It's kind of the equivalent if you're, doing credit card hacking and you're getting some sort of a points, miles, et cetera, bonus. But you're getting that through Target. And to me, that's just a great benefit. Do you guys have a Red Card?
No.
Really?
Yeah, we do not. And I don't do any of that sort of stuff with retailers. One, because we never spend enough money at any given retailer for it to make a difference. But also, we are constantly churning through credit cards. And so the sign-up bonuses are what get me value. And I basically dismiss all the 1, 2, 5% cash back on certain things because it's irrelevant compared to the total points I'm getting from sign-up bonuses.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I will say, I think Target has enough benefits as a Red Card member. Again, that like free 2-day shipping and a few other things that make it worth it. But I also don't, if you, again, you have another plan, right? Which is you're getting some other benefit through that purchase. So I certainly would not knock that. How often do you use the Target app, Mike?
I don't know. Infrequently.
Oh, I'm telling you, you got to like rediscover the app. Do you think Britta uses it? Do you know?
Probably a little bit, but guess how much money we've spent at Target this year?
Oh, that's a good question. How much? Oh, wait, you asked me. I thought that was pretty funny. $300.
$483.
Oh, okay.
And I think the majority of that is groceries.
Give me a second. I think I could get to my number pretty quickly because now I want to know how much money we've spent at Target year to date. I'm not going to get to it quickly, so let me get to it later. But it's definitely more than that because I might have spent that in 2 months. But we also sometimes we buy clothes there, not like a massive amount, but we buy a good bit of groceries there. Some of the best like vegan products that we frequent, like we cannot find the type of milk we drink, specifically like soy unsweetened, like no flavors. We can't find it like anywhere but our local Target. Mm-hmm. So we buy a good bit of groceries there. Okay. The app is full of offers. So it is kind of annoying to me that like everyone doesn't just get these discounts and these prices, but it is what it is. I can't change that. It's full of different offers, gift card rebates, discounts, and other things. And so, for example, when I was buying some Tide, powdered Tide, which is like an amazing product, thanks to Go Clean Company, Go Clean Co. on Instagram, inspiring my love of Tide. They had an offer that if I bought like 3 of them, I got like a $10 gift card. And I was like, I'm going to buy this anyways. And I'm going to use this, within a decent amount of time. And so I got like $10 back in Target gift cards. There were some toiletries I was buying and they happened to all qualify, like toothpaste, deodorant, a bunch of things for another $10 gift card. So they really do have like a frequent enough volume of offers on different food, and you can actually use the app. You can scan what you're buying anyways. So I don't shop in the app to figure out what I'm going to get a discount on. I look for what I'm looking for and then I see that there's a discount and I might stock up on deodorant if there's like a meaningful offer on it. I don't know why I keep using deodorant.
I was just going to ask you, you've referenced deodorant probably like a dozen times.
I just recently bought deodorant
has somebody told you that you smell bad or something?
No, I do smell bad, but that's not the point of this show. No, I just happen to buy deodorant and floss. And so I don't know why those 2 things are on my mind. But the point is you can actually use the app. You can scan the item and it tells you if there's an offer. So we buy like a lot of Kashi cereal at Target. It has the lowest price of anywhere out there. And every now and then, like we'll see that it's on sale and we'll stock up and we'll buy like more of that, more than we typically would. And so my point is the Target app is great. A lot of other a lot of other stores like Walmart, et cetera, also have some pretty slick apps these days. And there's additional offers and discounts that are through the app. Target even has a lot of discounts. Like they'll have Beyond Meat on sale and Beyond Beef, is it called? I always confuse the
Beyond
two.
Meat.
Beyond Meat. Okay. And then what's the other one called?
I don't know.
There's 2 like popular plant-based meats. They will, they'll have offers where actually if you're walking into the store and buying it, it's not applicable. It's only applicable for like in-store pickup. So every now and then I'll be in the store and there'll be a really good offer. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can't actually like walk out of the store with this product. I have to order it through the app and then come pick it up. And I'm cheap enough that I'll sometimes do that. But my point is the apps can have some great offers and be really helpful.
Another thing you can do is that you can take advantage of Target's price match. So for 14 days after the purchase, it applies to anything that's in store or online. And there's a select list of competitors who it applies to. So if you have a little bit of discipline about going and remembering things that you bought, and if you saw a different price, going back and taking advantage of the price match, this is a great way to save some money.
So one of the final tips, which is a good one to end on, Mike, is if you do have a moment of weakness, which we all do, and you buy something that you regret, 5 minutes later or the next day or the next weekend or whatever, you can always go back and return it, right? Target has a great return policy. You often don't even need your actual receipt. They look it up from your credit card.
And they don't need a long backstory about why you changed your mind.
My gosh. I totally forgot about this. You are so right. I like to give people my long backstories on returns, and I slowly am learning from you, Mike, that they don't care. They just want to process my return.
Yeah.
So yes, do not forget that you can always return things.
All right, Maggie, let's wrap it up with our 3 key takeaways.
Yeah.
So the first key takeaway is that limit the times you go into Target or Costco or Walmart. Insert store name here. The fewer times you are exposed to those retail environments, the less money you're going to spend.
Our second takeaway is when you do need things from these stores, avoid walking inside the stores. There's so much great technology now. Almost every store has something where you can order online and pick it up in store. Leverage those apps and that technology. It will save you money.
And number 3, when you do need to go inside the store to buy something, bring a list, don't get a shopping cart, go by yourself. Make this as quick of an experience as possible, and you will spend less money.
I think the theme of a lot of the things we talked about, Mike, is just being intentional, right? When you want to save money on anything and you just spend a little bit of time to kind of take a step back and figure out what's triggering you on spending a lot of money, you can be much more intentional to create better environments around you to avoid those things that you want to spend less on, right? And so thinking about like, when I go into Target or any store, when I'm stressed, when I have kids with me, I start to make bad decisions about things because I don't have a list. I've gone in kind of last minute. I'm not thinking about what I truly need. And so I know we use the word intentional a lot, but I think it's a great word and a great reminder.
And when Maggie's stressed, she sweats a lot, which is why she needs so much damn deodorant at all these stores.
Very true. I thought you were going to say when I'm stressed. God, what did I think you were going to say?
About your motion sickness?
No, I'm so stressed right now. I can't even think straight. Oh, no. When I'm stressed, I spend more money.
On deodorant? Because you're also smelly?
Stop it on the deodorant. Yes. When I'm stressed, I spend more. By the way, I should tell people my favorite deodorant. Maybe I'll put it on a post.
Okay.
I've been through a lot of them over the years, and I finally found one that is it's just perfect.
It sounds like we're going to do a whole episode about it.
Perhaps a future episode. You're right. Actually, we want to do that whole episode on toiletries.
Oh, yeah. So we are going to do an episode on deodorant. Okay.
Yeah, we'll dig into deodorant during that
You're welcome, listeners.
Yeah, I know. Enjoy. This is exciting stuff here.
Anyway.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. Just when I'm stressed, I spend more money. Yeah. I think that's a sign for us to wrap this puppy up, right?
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. If you've been challenged or inspired by what you've heard, please rate and review the show. You can also subscribe to make sure you never miss an episode.
If you have any thoughts or questions, we would always love to hear from you, and you can leave us a voicemail. And you can leave us a voicemail or text us at 404-981-3370. Or you can always hit us up on Instagram.
All right, Maggie. This was fun. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. I learned something about Target and deodorant.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
All right. Bye.
Bye.